the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with a few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us.
They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I am your host, Bo, the boom operator.
I'm Slick Doggy, the grip.
And you are tuned in to the Drive-In Speaker Box, the best in film scores, soundtracks, DVD news, movie reviews, and everything in between. I don't know why that just came out of my mouth, because that was our radio intro. We were talking about that earlier in the program, and my brain just went back to like 8 years ago. But yeah, we don't play any film scores because we can't anymore, because thanks internet law. I was just getting distracted because somebody had mentioned having like some feedback with our live stream. Not our live stream, but our audio recording, saying that there's like a hum in it. And I think I see what they're talking about, and I don't know how to fix it because I just noticed it now. So if you're listening to the podcast and there's a hum and I don't fix it by the time I upload this, I'm sorry, because I'm not going to go back and re-record this episode because we do this live. And, yeah, so deal with it. Anyway, that's why you got to tune in live. It's way more fun that way. So if you are listening to this episode of the podcast, where it is you download your podcasts, you can check out the live stream. It's on Facebook. It's on Twitch. It's on YouTube. We love the Twitch. I think it's the Twitch is really good. So Velvet Santa on Twitch says you can check out old shows on Google Podcasts. You can, I mean, they're on Spotify. They're on all kinds of fun stuff. So check it out. But we've got a show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about movies. We're going to be talking about news. We're going to be talking about all that fun stuff. I had a chance to go see Blue Beetle in theaters this weekend.
Me too.
So you saw it as well?
Yeah.
Okay. You sound way less enthusiastic about it than I do.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Okay.
And I liked it. So it looks like we're going to have some interesting things to talk about.
Whoa.
Yeah. So anyway, also for those of you that are tuned in live or on the podcast, another audio thing is it's 100 degrees outside, and I'm not kidding. I'm not like going, oh man, it's like 100 degrees outside. It's 100 degrees outside, and we're in the upstairs of a metal building here, and it's really hot. So forgive me if you hear the fan that's pointing at us and the air conditioner that's over there blowing at us, because I'm not turning those off like I normally do for the show, because it's just too damn hot. So you're just going to have to deal with the audio issues today, because we're in the middle of a heat wave. How's the rest of that song go? A heat wave.
You got me. I don't know.
You don't know the song Heat Wave?
I know the band Heat Wave.
Heat Wave. How's that song go? Heat Wave. It's not Martha and the Van. Yeah, here we go.
Vince says he doesn't know how long-haired people do it in the heat. You keep it pulled back, bro.
Heat Wave. Yeah, I can't play too much of it or we'll get canceled. Heat Wave. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got me on that. I don't know. That's.
Yeah, I can't.
I'll use the excuse that everyone uses when they're like, "I've never seen a movie." It was before my time, my guy.
Yeah, this was like 1965, a little bit before my time as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but cool song. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. Let's talk about some news, because we need to talk about what happened in this past week. Yeah. So what happened this last week? I know you've got your piece of paper there. I'll let you start since you have things on paper. I'm going to pour myself some alcohol.
Well, things that occurred within this.
Do you need a beer or anything?
Huh?
Do you need a beer or anything?
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Dude,
I forgot to bring one.
I've got some beers. I'll go grab some beers. Drop
Things
some news on them.
Yeah, things that occurred recently. More stuff with Snow White and people not being happy about it. The son of the original director of Snow White, David Hand, and the name of the son, also David Hand, But he came out and said that he is not stoked about what they're doing with Snow White. Said that all their woke horseshit is ruining movies and the vision of his dad and Disney. He thinks that Walt Disney would hate it and that everyone's just kind of stomping on the memories of Walt, and thinks that his dad and Walt would be rolling in their graves. Super not stoked about it. Oh, thanks, guy. And yeah, so Disney's always trying these things with their new. Are these both for me or one for you?
Yeah, I didn't know which one you'd want, and I didn't want to shout from the other room. So I've got a Viva La Video mug with rum in it.
Refreshing.
Just straight rum.
But yeah, he says that he kind of points out one thing about the remakes and movies, which is that they change the stories and they change the thought process of the characters, and they have no regard for what the original concept and idea and characters were. That's true. That's definitely true.
At a certain point, it seems to me like they're just throwing on these names like Snow White to sell it, and they go, "I've heard of that. I know what that is. I'm going to go see it." And
yeah, absolutely. But the way he did his argument, though, is kind of like, oh, well, they altered the original. I can't believe they did that. Disney didn't create these stories either. They took fairy tales and stuff and kind of put their twist on it. But at the same time, it has been around for like 100 years, and it's like, why do you decide to change it now when it's kind of like a timeless deal, But whatever. I get his point about doing pointless remakes just to do them because they want to do whatever dumb horseshit.
And also, I mean, isn't Snow White like public domain? They don't have to pay anybody really for the rights to that. Is that, or does Disney?
Is that how they were able to do the Snow White and the Huntsman and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
So, and like, I think that's why there's so many Pinocchios. There's so many.
Sure.
What's another one that happens quite a bit? Peter Pan's. You see a lot of that. The Winnie the Pooh movie that came out, the Murder Pooh.
Yeah.
Those are all public domain. So just can't wait for Steamboat Mickey to hit public domain pretty soon and see.
I do feel like anyone involved in Disney now really does not care about the name of Disney. That's pretty evident, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
They care about cashing in on it, but they don't care about anything that like Walt cared about. Just like nothing in Walmart cares about like what Sam Walton cared about. They're like, oh, poor people, yeah, we use them. So that is what it is. We got a bunch of trailers for movies, lots of trailers. Scott Pilgrim TV show coming for Netflix. Did you see that?
I did.
I've never been a Scott Pilgrim
animated
fan. Yeah, it's an animated show done in the comic book style. Looks like the comic. And one thing I got to get out of the way that's really irks me so bad is that everyone keeps calling it anime. It's not an anime. It's a comic book by a Canadian, and it's not even really animated movie.
It's not even an anime style either.
No, not at all. But everyone keeps calling it an anime. But one cool thing is that all of the live action movie cast are reprising their roles for the show.
No kidding.
Yeah, Chris Evans, Brandon Routh.
You know what? I did read about that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What's her name? The girl that played Ramona Flowers that was in Sky High.
Yeah. I can't think of her name right now.
She helped Ewan McGregor cheat on his wife and all that stuff. On Emily Winstead, something like that. Anyhow, they're all in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which Chris Evans, great job. I always like Chris Evans does a great job in almost everything he's in. So it'll be cool to hear his voice and everything. There you go, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So that's cool that they recast the live action movie, keeping some consistency and stuff there. There's a very cool Pakistani movie trailer called Martin that you should check out. It's like a prison action movie. Like, it looks like Ricky O, but like Pakistan version.
Okay.
Yeah. Less brutal, but still it looks pretty brutal. Very cool looking. We got a Good Burger 2 teaser.
I heard about yeah, I don't know.
They called it a trailer. There's not really much to it.
No, it's a teaser for sure.
It's just Ed and whatever Keenan's character was named, and they're teaming up again, and
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
And Kel is being very Ed. And it's like streaming this fall, so it's going to be a Paramount thing, surely, which is a bummer. I would like to see Good Burger in the theater.
Well, it seems like so many of these things right now are going streaming only, and that's something that I'll talk about a little bit later in the show when we talk about Blue Beetle and whatnot. But, with streaming, there's low risk, high, potential high reward, low risk.
Yeah.
So...
Well, and they can get away with it. Velvet Santa asks, what was that Jean-Claude Van Damme prison movie called? JCVD. Jean-Claude Van Damme. There's another streaming trailer for Reptile on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, with the Benicio del Toro and
Benicio
gang.
del Toro and Justin Timberlake and Alicia Silverstone. That looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
It looks pretty good. And Justin Timberlake's being creepy.
Well, and I just got my Netflix back, so I'm in my own household now, not sharing households, so I can check that out. One kind of fun piece of news that I noticed this week, I don't know if you guys have been following the Toxic Avenger remake that's coming out from Troma that has...
I forgot about that. I saw that there was like a little thing for it.
It's got, everybody's favorite Game of Thrones
poster release.
Peter Dinklage. But one of the things, they released this poster, which doesn't show a lot of up close detail, but they did say that Phil Tippett's studio did a lot of the gore effects. And Phil Tippett, if you guys know, is a really amazing special effects VFX guy, stop motion animated guy. If he has a film that's out on, I think you can see it on Shudder, I think. But Mad God, it took him decades to finish this movie, and it's not for the beginner. It kind of reminds me of Brothers Quay style animation. Really, really, really out there, but. If you watch Mad God and you're thinking Toxic Avenger, you're like, oh my God, this is match made in heaven. So,
is the new Toxie being made by Troma?
I don't know if it's Troma Studios or if they're just producers and some other film studios actually doing the principal photography. I almost hope that another studio is doing the principal photography because
Troma's always...
Yeah, they're not known for quality filmmaking. They just make cool movies.
Yeah, fun movies, right? Yeah. Creepy as hell movies. If you've seen Terror Firmer, don't watch that movie.
But do watch Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Kabuki Man or any of the Toxies. Terror Firmer's, if you like campy, dumb, weird horror movie with body horror and disfigured ding-dongs, Terror Firmer.
If you love disfigured ding-dongs, subscribe to our podcast.
That's why I'm telling you not to watch that movie. It's weird as hell. Another thing for Netflix today, Zack Snyder tweeted out the little 15-second teaser for Rebel Moon, and most of those 15 seconds are just the words of trailer tomorrow. So we're getting a trailer for it tomorrow. You get to see some girl
teasers for trailers.
Yeah, smack a bell with a hammer, and then some planes or spaceships or something fly off over the desert. It looks neat from just the little tidbit. We'll see with the full trailer tomorrow because we've gotten the pictures of the Star Wars girls, the women that were meant to be Jedis that are not going to be because
they're not Jedis.
Because he was told no after he wrote
Star Wars stuff.
Star Wars script, right? So he just was like, oh, okay, I'll just erase the word Star Wars and I'll replace the word Jedi.
Battle, replace Jedi with Gooba.
But that's going to be there tomorrow. It looks like it could be fun. Maybe it's something to watch on Netflix. Which more Netflix stuff. The One Piece live action keeps getting more and more released about it. They're trying so hard to get people to be excited and want this show. And
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen because
we have not ever been impressed with live action anime.
It doesn't
there
work.
Isn't one that has caught on yet.
Battle Angel wasn't bad.
But it wasn't like, ooh, let's watch that.
That's true. But they released the theme song that they have for One Piece, and I listened to it with my brother. My brother and I both like
One Piece fans.
Right? I read it, he watches it more, but I've watched a ton of it. One Piece is something that's defined by its opening songs, very much so, right? And there's one song in particular, We Are, and it's been done like 5 different times, and it's so good. And every time you hear it, you like you feel, right? Like you have your feel. And this theme song is just soulless, heartless, empty orchestra that means nothing.
I'm trying to find like a clip of it on YouTube, but
and we are my brother and I both sat there and we had the same reaction, and it was, they don't get it. Like they just, every part of this illustrates how much they don't get it. And I keep seeing all these articles about how Oda Eiichiro had to be like, no, damn it, don't do that. And then Netflix like, okay, all right, we screwed up big, we're gonna change it. And then by the time the dailies or whatever gets to Oda, he's like, what the hell is wrong with you? I gave you the okay on this, I read what you had, it sounded good, and you keep flubbing on this so bad. And the end product is going to be garbage, and I think he got stuck with it, and that sucks. Netflix is definitely going to have a stinker on their hands with the One Piece. Though I did see someone took the live action trailer audio and then replaced all the visuals with clips from the anime.
The show?
Yeah. It made it a little more bearable, but it was still kind of awful because when you see their voices with the animated characters, they truly don't match at all. It just seemed
sad.
god awful. And talking Asian entertainment, Old Boy was in the theaters this last week.
As was Coraline, which got a big, huge. I think it made $4 million in the box office last. It beat the Dracula movie that I really liked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
didn't see that.
It wasn't playing here.
Yeah, when I checked the box office numbers earlier.
Oh no, it was playing here last week. It was playing under Malco.
Okay, I didn't see it on this week's. But Old Boy, which came in number 12 in the United States, the amount of money it made 20 years after the fact is more than what it took in on its original run entirely.
And this is the original.
Yeah, this is the Korean version of the Japanese manga.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Which is arguably the most famous version of it, right? The live action Old Boy is more well known than the Japanese manga that inspired everything.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the American remake with Josh Brolin is just bleh.
Right.
Misses the point. Alex Sparkman says, I think they're going to do another Coraline run at the end of the month. Not sure if we will get it here or not, though. Yeah, well, check your local listings. A lot of times, unless you're looking for these things, like it is Studio Ghibli Fest right now, and it's coming to a close. Porco Rosso was this week, which I got to check that out.
Oh, really?
I'd not ever had a chance to see Porco Rosso in theaters. It's one of the only Ghibli films that I've never really got to see on a big screen.
I saw it and I thought about it, but I didn't do it.
And it's a good one on the big screen too. Like honestly, Porco Rosso tends to be on my like bottom of the list when I'm watching at home, but seeing it on the big screen, I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually a lot of fun. And
did you watch it subbed?
No, unfortunately not. They didn't have it, but
it's not bad dubbed.
It's not bad dubbed. It's not the best dubbed. Michael Keaton is the voice of Porco Rosso, and he does an okay job with it, but it subbed is so much better. Oh my god! And I think the problem is the pirates. Like all that's talking. Although the lead pirate played by the guy. Who was Everybody Loves Raymond. I think it's
Brad
brother.
Garrett.
Yeah, the guy with the voice talks like this. He was a great pirate.
Yeah, Brad Garrett did the voice of Lobo in Superman animated.
Yeah, because his voice is just really down here.
Brad Garrett has a good animated.
Him and I can't. Man, my name databank is just.
What else was he in? I'll probably.
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about another like low, rumbly voice.
That's what I'm saying.
is awesome in anime. That's not him. It's
Diedrich Bader.
not well. No, he's great too. He was the Kurgan.
Oh,
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, Clancy Brown. Yeah.
I love when I'm watching
Mr.
something.
Krabs.
When I'm watching something animated and I hear Clancy Brown, I'm like, yep. There we
Clancy
go.
Brown was Lex Luthor in animated Superman.
So good, Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. What else was I gonna?
Well, while you're looking that up, Gran Turismo had another pre-release, just like they did a week or two ago.
Yeah, they keep letting us see this before its official release date.
At the moment, movie goers have been reviewing it very positively, and it has a nearly 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, with quotation marks around.
Yeah.
So they said that movie goers are liking it, critics hate it. Go figure. It's probably not a bad movie.
I'm
honestly.
assuming, as far as movies about video game kids racing cars in real life,
I mean, it's a
goes,
biopic.
Yeah, I'm
you know.
sure it's fine.
I'm sure they changed the names in it. It's based on a true story. The true story is pretty cool about a guy just on PlayStation having a force feedback controller becoming a racer for Nissan through a Sony held contest. That's pretty cool. That's what we all want to do, you know, but
It's like Tron, which I had a bit of news about Tron, like playing the game and then getting to go be inside the game. Tron 3 production has been officially delayed until who cares, because who cared about Tron 3? But due to the writer and actor strikes, they've just decided like, we're going to pause, as is a lot of movies right now. But I thought that, Tron 3 was one of these things that I think Disney just really wants to get out there.
why? I mean, Tron 2 was such
To sell
turd.
tickets to their Tron coaster that they're trying to launch at the theme parks.
Is there another Daft Punk album accompanying it? Because without that, it ain't going to
It
happen.
ain't gonna do
Tell me one thing you remember about Tron Legacy that's not the Daft Punk soundtrack. Or the really bad Clue CGI.
the pinball machine.
That is
It
not
wasn't
the
even that
movie.
great. Yeah, the Tron Legacy wasn't a good movie. Fight me.
Yeah. The CGI wasn't ready. The Clue looked really bad. They're like, what? Him and Jeff Bridges are totally indistinguishable. It's like, the computer guy's the dude with the rubber face.
Yeah, like if you had put saran wrap on his face and hit him with a heat gun, then it'd been like, that's
Yeah.
Clue. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of new stuff that I.
I mean,
that
what's
I wanted
Tron 3's story going to be? Because Olivia Wilde got brought into the real world, right? With his son. Jeff Bridges isn't in it then, right?
Probably not.
I forget how Legacy ended.
Did they all turn into programs? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it was
boring.
like Olivia Wilde's character came into the real world and they rode motorcycles across the bridge and she just like hugged him and it hit credits.
Vince on Twitch just said in the comments, Amazon used the strike to give up on season 2 of League of Their Own TV series. I did read that the other day. I am pissed. It was only supposed to be a truncated season to sum things up as it was, but I did not know you were such a League of Their Own fan. Last time if I had known, I would have gotten Gina Davis's autograph last time she was in Bentonville and sent it to you.
Amazon likes to give up on things that people like.
They do.
The Tick.
I was about to say The Tick. And, well, things that they are doing another season, like Invincible Season 2 is coming pretty quickly.
Yeah, taking forever. And they keep on pushing this Lord of the Rings horse shit on everyone. They're like, oh, everyone absolutely hated it after we came out and we said, we don't care about Lord of the Rings. We're using it to make money. Fuck you, fans of Tolkien. And they're like, people didn't like that? I can't believe it. What? No Tolkien fan ever was like, I like this show.
So let's just keep making more. We spent way too much money on it. I don't know.
I can't wait for that new version of it just to be,
Garbage.
well, better than Amazon, not as good as 2000s version.
Well, let's see here. We need to talk about what's coming out in theaters this weekend. It is that time. We've got a couple of movies coming out. Yeah, there's there's some movies coming out. There's a handful. I'll start with the indie ones. There's one that I saw a trailer to this week that it says it's coming in theaters. Granted, if it comes to a theater near you, I will be very surprised. But
if it comes to a theater near us, I will be there.
It's called Slaughterhouse. Don't rush, die slow. It is about Emily Young, a senior, wants to be elected as her sorority's president, which is very relevant to us because we live in a college now. We have to deal with these idiots all the time. No offense if you're in a sorority, but it's she adopts
total offense from me. You are idiots. I don't like you. You keep walking in front of my car, and I don't like it.
There you have it. She adopts a cute sloth, thinking it can become the new mascot and help her win, until a string of fatalities implicate the sloth as the main character.
Have you seen the trailer for this movie?
Yes, it's like a puppet sloth. It's like, oh! Looks ridiculous. It says it's coming out in theaters. We'll see. If it is in theaters, I might actually take a chance of going and seeing it.
It's like the kind of thing that we used to do our homemade drive-in theater and watch.
I've been thinking about doing some like a couple of double features at Pinpoint, but we'll talk about that another time. Also, I don't think it's going to get an expanded release, but it does look really interesting. It's from director Guy Nativ. It is a biopic about Golda Meir with Helen Mirren called Golda. And it is basically that. It's focusing on kind of the responsibility she had in her position. She was known as the Iron Lady of Israel during the Yom Kippur War. Looks like a pretty amazing performance from Helen Mirren. Of course, Academy Award-winning Helen Mirren, but also a person who starred in a lot of really crappy movies like Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Helen Mirren. So who knows? But it looks interesting and a story that I would have never thought would have gotten turned into a movie. But there you have it.
when she can do kind of whatever she wants anymore, right?
She's Helen Mirren.
She's Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
They're like, listen, Shazam 2, hear me out.
And she's like,
you can phone it in.
Whatever.
We'll give you all the money. And she's like, all right, I got 2 days on this Fast and Furious horse shit. Give me a second and I'll be there. They're like, cool. And they're like, you can do all your shots in like a day and a half, 2 days max. And she's like, cool. Shazam, die. Oh, I'm dying. And everyone's
where's
like,
my check?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it. Thanks for lending your name to the
That's
credits.
a wrap on Helen, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Lucy Liu just has to act like opposite of a tennis ball on a pole because she's just not there. Yeah, I mean,
Aw.
when you get to be Helen Mirren, you get to do what you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
So that's coming out in probably expanded release. Also coming out is a movie called Bottoms. It is a coming-of-age, raunchy sex com from the producers of Pitch Perfect and Cocaine Bear. And it's about two unpopular homosexual high school students starting a fight club to have sex before graduation. Somehow this all works out.
They like wrestle each other, like they beat each other into submission. I don't like that.
There's a lot going on in here.
What's the name of the is it Elizabeth Smart? Is that what it is? Like is that the name of the lady in Pitch Perfect that did Cocaine Bear?
No, you're thinking about Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
No, she is not attached to this project. It is directed by Emma Siegelman, and I don't know if she had anything to do with any of those movies. I think it's just the production studio that's throwing the money. Elizabeth Banks is hilarious.
I thought it was her production company that did Cocaine Bear, and
I think she was very involved in Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, she directed it.
Yeah, and produced it and helped maybe write the screenplay. Like Elizabeth Banks freaking rules. By the way, I kind of had a little crush on Elizabeth Banks a long time ago when she was rolling with the Michael Showalter, Michael Ian Black, like that, the State as they were called, like that whole gang. And yeah, she's just the absolute coolest. Super funny. Let's see. Also coming out is Retribution with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, that movie looks cool.
Yeah, you can guess what this is about. Liam Neeson in a bad situation where he has to rise to the occasion, action style, despite being 78.
Well, he's a dude in a car with his kids, and someone put a bomb in there, and they call him on the phone. And they're like, hey, dude, there's a bomb in your car, and you got to do what I tell you. Kill your friend. And he's like, I can't do it. And then they blow up his friend. And he's like, oh, my God, they blew up my friend. And he's like, you're going to do what I tell you. And then action occurs. It looks fun.
Looks like Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to, I like Liam Neeson. I really do. I'm getting tired of seeing Liam Neeson in action roles.
What?
I really am. I just want to see Liam Neeson as the big friendly giant again. Like, or whatever that movie where he was the giant. Was that BFG?
Probably.
And I just want to hear him like talk about stuff. And
there was that a monster comes or
that's what it was.
Yeah.
.net.
What was is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was like something. It was that kid that had cancer.
Yeah,
and his like
and
nightmare root monster came in
Yeah.
and was like, "It's gonna be okay."
And we
it's
watched
Liam
it in the
Neeson.
theater. It was such a good movie, and there was those like frat boy turd sniffer guys that were like, "I don't get this movie. Why did we come see it, dude? It said monster in the title."
Yeah, and it was really about a kid grieving his mom who died of cancer or something. Somebody
Yeah.
died of cancer. Was his mom or his
straight
dad?
up. Yeah, it was his mom.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and all of us were in there having like a really good time watching this Monster Calls. We were having a really good time watching this like touching story and this like really cool movie about like this kid and his like grieving
Bullying and cancer.
yeah, and him
and
creating this monster to help him like get through life, and these dudes were just like stupid, and we were like, these guys
Shut
suck.
up.
Yeah.
So yeah, Retribution coming out in theaters this weekend as well. And probably the one that you're getting all the advertisements for is Gran Turismo. David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, some young actors, racing cars. We've talked about it. Based on the unbelievable, inspiring, true story of team of underdogs, struggling working class gamer, a failed former race car driver, and an idealistic motorsport executive, risking it all to take on the most elite sport in the world. Coming out this weekend.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. So, Gran Turismo hitting the theaters this weekend. You will, I undoubtedly will unseat Blue Beetle, I would think.
Not going to be hard.
Everybody's like, Blue Beetle unseated Barbie, which was in its like fifth week.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. I would have been surprised if Barbie had made another $30 million at the box office this week. I mean, it's like everybody's seen it by now. So, with that said, do we want to talk about it?
I got a movie I can talk about in just a few minutes right before we dive into Blue Beetle, because I had watched one last week after we did the show, remember?
Okay.
Because we did the show on Sunday, and after we finished the show, I went and I watched my movie.
What was the movie you watched?
It was Jailer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the new Tamil movie with superstar Rajnikanth. Dude, it's not Bollywood, man. It doesn't apply. It's a Tamil
But
movie.
you said you had a movie that you could talk about real quick before we review the movie.
It is going to be real quick. So basically, it's a story about a policeman, his father, family, and justice and revenge. A cop's trying to shut down this like ring of criminals. They kidnap his dad, and they tell him he better give up. Turns out his dad's a super badass. That's played by superstar Rajnikanth. He comes back, so they try and attack the family. Rajni, of course, protects his grandson, but then his son, the policeman, goes missing. They can't find him, and they're like, yeah, he's dead. The criminals killed him, and his wife is just distraught. She's like, you did this because you taught our son to be a good man, to be an honorable and truthful cop, and do everything the right way. It's your fault that he died because he couldn't look the other way or whatever. So he goes on a revenge justice mission against these criminals, and then that what they don't realize is that he's the infamous jailer. He's jailer, right? He was like this super hard ass that ran a jail, and all the criminals respected him.
Like
and
the Equalizer.
yeah, and he would kind of like give criminals privilege if they would do the things that he like told them to do and behaved and all that stuff. So all these guys, like hardened super criminals, have high levels of respect for him and would do anything for him, right? And so he sicks them all on this dude, because this guy like attacks their family, and when the criminal dude's like, I need help killing this guy, they're like, oh, that guy? No, you messed up. You're dead, dude. Sorry, bro. And then they all just like turn on him. But there's a big twist on there, and it's about the inner workings of how the criminal societies and the justice system can be corrupt, and family and it's
And
a
how
complicated
cars can blow
web.
up.
Yeah,
It looks like a complicated web from this trailer here.
it's a very fun action movie, revenge movie. Superstar Rajni always killing it. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Loved it.
Superstar Rajni. Like, when do we get to... Who gets to that point? Like, Tom Cruise isn't superstar Tom Cruise, but superstar Rajni.
Well, Rajni has like the same opening that he's had since like the
Superstar
70s and 80s.
Rajni.
Yeah, it comes out. It goes Superstar Rajni. And
It
then
was in the trailer.
Yeah, and then it comes out and it has like the whole thing, and there's like a song to it and all that stuff. He's badass, man. He was Peta. He's in Theron and 2.0. Dude, he's been doing movies forever.
I will say that Superstar Rajni is pretty cool. He is a lot of fun to watch. So
Yeah, this movie was a lot. It was super badass. It's a revenge, deception, family. It has it all. It's super badass. I had a fun time with it.
hell yeah. Okay. Well,
It's worth the super high ticket price.
And it
was
is-
like a $20 ticket.
yeah, it is, and it's not an A-list thing that you can do.
Yeah, I
It's
was
a-
denied my A-list. I had to pay full price for it.
Oof.
But I always have fun with Rajni movies. So.
Well, all right. Well, if that's playing in your town, you can check it out. But what's probably playing in your town is Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
So Blue Beetle is, of course, the new movie, DC Universe. It's
Supposed to be one of the new parts of DCU instead of DCEU, right? This
Yeah.
was supposed to be one of the ones that kind of straddled that line of it could be old or new DC. And I think they're going to make it old DC.
well, the interesting thing about this movie is, you know, I feel like in terms of Blue Beetle, you're taking a character that does not have a lot of market penetration here, you know, in terms of like average Joe moviegoer, like someone who's a fan of Justice League or watches Young Justice or, you know, whatever, they're going to know who Blue Beetle is, right? But the person that's like, Thor Ragnarok's one of my favorite comic book movies ever, dude. Oh my gosh, you get to see Chris's butt now.
You get to see Xolo Marduena's butt.
But he's like a 19-year-old boy, and
He plays a 22-year-old
yeah. But it's not the same as getting to
as Hulk Dick.
right, exactly. So and you know, this character, and unlike Guardians of the Galaxy, which had almost zero market penetration when that came out, so they were able to just do whatever the hell they want to, which was booger farts and mixtapes. And Groot, which, remember when I said, you know, they're gonna, Groot is too damn silly and cute. They're gonna, and then Baby Groot happened. I go, you know, this is just gonna be a spin-off show where it's just super cute. And then now we're on season 2 of Baby Groot, the TV show. I called that because I know how this works. Blue Beetle, I feel, is one of these movies that is, in my opinion, because I could tell from the look on your face that you didn't like it.
Yeah.
I think this is a perfectly fine adventure action movie that came out in a time that we are sick of movies like this.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is, the word underwhelming is an understatement.
But why are we underwhelmed by this movie?
Because it's a very paint by numbers, cut and paste, I've seen it before, bullshit movie.
Yes, by today's standards.
There's
it is,
nothing
yeah.
new here, not one thing. And what they try to push on you over and over and make overwhelmingly apparent is that everyone here is Latino or South American or, you know, middle America. They're like, oh, this guy speaks that, and this guy speaks that, and this girl speaks that, and they're all not English because fuck you. And they use Sigourney Weaver as, or not, Susan Sarandon as like the white piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
She's just like,
What she's good at.
Hey, so and so, and they're like, oh, I hate this white woman so much. Which,
Well, so
yeah, she
there
was
was-
good at being a turd. But her whole role was being a turd.
Well,
right?
and for those reasons, I actually kind of like it, because Blue Beetle, to me, like the storyline, if you strip away the past 10 years of dumbass comic book movies that have been hammered into our head,
20
right?
years.
Okay, 20 years. And you're like, okay, we need to make a movie. Everybody's been crying about we're not telling diverse stories. And instead of like trying to make Superman black like they tried to do 2 years ago, or trying to make famous other characters.
Why would you do that when there's so many good black heroes?
Well, that's what my point is. That's what we've been hit with, is like, how do we take pre-existing characters?
Screw the Jews, we're going to change them.
Yeah, but instead they finally go, well, here's a Hispanic story with a Hispanic character. We're not going to deviate that much from the story. We're going to nod to the original two Blue Beetles and fit it into the storyline. And we're going to tell the story of Jaime Reyes in a time where everybody's screaming for inclusion. We're not going to... It was only hammered in the sense that everyone there was Hispanic, but it felt natural to me. Because they were in a town, like the town that they're in DC is just...
They could have spent 5 minutes on it, but they made it the whole movie. The problem I have with it is that the entire movie is repeated of the same first 5 minutes of the movie throughout the entire runtime. It's an origin movie for the entire runtime. It's a, hey, look at us movie for the entire runtime. They don't get into anything cool about Blue Beetle. They don't get anything cool about Jaime Reyes. Jaime Reyes is just a canvas they use. It's a horseshit maneuver on everything that they did, and they could have got his origin out of the way. They could have started it where he already was Blue Beetle and not wasted time with...
I don't think anybody would have...
lengthy origin movie.
Yeah, I think people just aren't familiar enough with that character. Like Spider-Man. We don't need to see Spider-Man get bit by the spider, although we still see it every fucking movie.
Okay, we didn't in the new ones. The home...
Yes, we did. They go, remember this when a spider came down and bit me? They even said it in the Across the Universe. They go, remember that time when I got bit by a nuclear
Miles
spider?
Morales, sure, but Homecoming, they didn't do it. Far From Home, they didn't do it.
Yeah, they did. They go, remember that time when I was in the lab and got bit by the spider?
They might have had a line about it, but they didn't make you sit through it. You said Guardians of the Galaxy. We don't see the origins of any of those characters.
Because no one knows or cares.
Exactly. They could have done that with Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. Instead, they give you an Iron Man cut and paste. They give you...
well, that's true. Because
it's a full-on Marvel cut and paste. They even went the Marvel method of, well, the bad guy of Blue Beetle is a color swap palette of Blue Beetle. You ever see Scorpion and Sub-Zero? Here you go.
Or, I mean, that I will say that the character design of the bad guy was a little bit Iron Man 3 for me.
Yeah, doing OMAC as a Blue Beetle villain was stupid, and I hated everything about that.
But that is a character from the comics.
Not Blue Beetle comics.
Not Blue Beetle comics, but it is a character from the DCU. And I felt like they turned him into a sympathetic villain, which I always like a sympathetic villain. Like Susan
the last 30 seconds of the fucking movie.
Yeah, they could have expanded on that a little bit more,
They could have, definitely.
Which they didn't. But I think that this movie is way better than a lot of the comic book movies that are coming out. It was way better than Flash, I thought. Minus all the Batman parts, because the Batman parts were amazing.
I was about to say, this movie had one good part about it.
Was it the Motley Crue part?
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah.
It was George Lopez playing Motley Crue.
Or just George Lopez, hard stop.
This was a George Lopez movie.
And it was good.
George Lopez was good.
George Lopez was awesome. And honestly, okay, here's another part of this movie that I thought I was going to hate, but ended up liking. Nana, the grandma.
She was a bit too much. I liked the idea of it.
I liked the way they handled it because nothing drives me more...
freedom fighter.
Yes, nothing drives me more insane in animated movies and kids movies where like the grandma comes out and does young people shit. It just inexplicably, and they're like, "Hi-ya, I'm a ninja and old," and that's funny because of the contrast, and I hate that. But with the Nana character, they were like, wait a minute, how do you know how to do this? And there's a nod to, well, she comes from a war-torn country and she was a freedom fighter. And so there's this backstory that you kind of get but don't get that puts that joke into context, which I think makes it funny and tasteful. And I thought that was good.
So I wanted to like it, but I couldn't just because it was too much. George Lopez's character was also way too much. But he had an arc. He was the only character in this movie that had an arc because you get the same you get the same horseshit you get in every movie, which he's like, I have superpowers and I don't want them. I'm going to scream and I'm going to cry and I hate everything. And everyone's like, I'm so sorry that you have superpowers. I'm so sorry. Right? And he's like, well, I guess I'm going to fight a very low-level bad guy as one of the most top-tiered superheroes on the planet.
Well, we don't know that.
So he fights a couple of SWAT boys, and he's like, yeah, take this, SWAT boys, a punch. And you're like, oh, fucking kill me. But so I liked George Lopez, and the only other part of the movie that I did like is that they didn't write off Blue Beetles pretending like this was the very first one.
Well, and
They had
the
Ted
Beetle
Cord.
Cave,
And I'm going to go
the
ahead
Ted
and...
Cord Cave was sick.
I'm going to go ahead and ruin this movie for you with a spoiler because you're not going to watch it. No one watched it. It made $25 million. It's the worst DC movie that's ever opened ever.
It did less than Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
It made less money than Flash because it didn't have Michael Keaton in the trailer.
Admittedly, Flash's budget was $250 million. This was $100 million. So
wow, they did. All right, they did that CGI budget on $100 million,
and it looked better than Flash.
Okay, all right. Hey, good job. I liked that they set up the story that I wanted to see in this movie, which is that Ted Cord is somewhere in the Ant Kingdom with the Atom. So we have a setup for Blue Beetle and the Atom Adventures. And they could have had Jaime Reyes helping to rediscover and find Ted Cord. We didn't need Ted
I think
Cord's...
that's the sequel we'll never get.
Exactly. We didn't need Ted Cord's evil sister. We didn't get Mr. like... Colombian murder OMAC guy. We didn't need Ted Cord's daughter, who was just so
She's
lame.
love interest, though.
I didn't need Jaime's sister, who was just the same thing that keeps ruining movies.
She was Aquafina in this movie.
The
and
reason that no one liked Mission Impossible is because they're like, she's a girl with attitude. Like, quit doing that fucking character.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
I
and
will
it
admit,
drives people away from your movies.
She was awful.
When you put a girl in a movie and her sole role is to be a piece of shit, it doesn't work. Make them a person. I don't want someone that's a piece of shit with legs on the screen. Make them a person. And Jaime's sister's sole job was to talk shit and be a nuisance.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I
Over
hated
and over and
everything
over
about
again.
her.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. You're a dumb idiot. Cord is stupid. Oh, her name's Cord. Well, you're dumb. I hate you. Stupid.
I'm going to go take a shit over here and ruin this for everybody.
Yeah, God, she was so awful.
She literally did take a shit in one scene.
Like, why did they kill the dad instead of her?
Well, and that was a thing that I did. Now that we're spoiling it,
who cares? It's a dumbass movie. It's a cut and paste. You've seen it before.
I liked it.
Did you watch Black Panther? Same thing. Same fucking thing.
No way. Not
a dude
even
in a
close.
suit and his dad dies.
Okay, Batman. Okay, Spider-Man. Okay, Superman. Okay, well, all of the. Okay, Thor.
Batman
okay,
and Superman's dads died
Hulk,
when they were little kids.
Okay,
Hulk's dad didn't. That's not part of it.
But it is in part 3, because doesn't he become like that one fucking monster? Yeah.
And Ang Lee's Hulk, his dad transforms.
Yeah. I mean, they're all someone's parent gets murked, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a superhero now." Flash's mom dies, and dad's in jail.
Dude, all right. So Ghost, Black Panther being way more political. The whole thing about the keys and returning it to the people and helping like the American Pario. I don't know, kind of political. Blue Beetle was fairly political. They're like, oh, Miami is rich people and the keys are poor people and Cord is going to come save the day or whatever.
Well, that's something that I felt like was hitting here in Fayetteville, where people that built a city are getting pushed out by rich people that want to come move here and turn it into a tourist trap. That resonated with me. But overall, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Dude, so I went with my friend. And she always likes those stupid movies. There's movies I walk out of. I'm like, that movie sucked. I hated everything. She's like, oh, it was funny or it was cute or whatever. Well, she walked out of this movie. She was like, that was a bad movie.
I honestly believe it's because
we've seen
all
it a
this
million times
superhero
already.
Fatigue. Because really, when you break down most comic book heroes, the intro story to get people familiar with the character is the same shit every single time.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need origin movies anymore. You don't need it.
No, I agree, but I feel like you don't need it, but you need it because audiences are stupid. You know what I mean?
And
We don't need it.
You can get it out of the way so early on. You know that in comic books, like the origin story, like go to the 60s issue 1 of Iron Man. You know how long Iron Man's origin story was?
It was like a page.
6 panels.
Yeah.
1 page, 6 panels. They go, yeah, Vietnam, he gets blown up. There's a Chinese guy in a cave. He makes armor. Iron Man. Let's get to the friggin' fun part.
Let's get to hand lasers.
Yeah, let's get to the fun part. Like, origin stories don't have to take issues upon issues or hours upon hours until later on. Like, Guardians did it. They're like, oh, you want Rocket's origin? Here's a movie about animal abuse. This is what you wanted.
That's why that's why I hated that movie, though.
I'm just saying, Wolverine's origin, you know what happened? 20 years in the comic books.
Yeah. The Wolverine origin was a long time coming. And pretty cool.
Wolverine
Weapon X.
Origins was 40 years. 30 to 40 years.
Oh, are you talking about the comic storyline?
I'm talking, the Weapon X, like
Yeah.
how he got the adamantium. That was like 20 years. The Origins, that was like another 10 or 15 years after that. You don't need to give the friggin' Origins. It's so boring, and everything was so cut and paste, and it was such a Marvel formula bullcrap movie.
Well, and I think that this is the problem, is the formula is created. The formula has always been there to try and capture young audiences into going, maybe one day I'll find a beetle and I'll have superpowers and I can see myself in here.
Yeah, but
we're past that.
His incessant whining the entire time, crying and whining and shouting and being a fucking bane. Oh my God, I hated everything. The idea of...
You didn't hate that Motley Crue bug scene.
Well, that was fun.
There was another music montage scene that was also pretty badass. I can't remember what it was.
The stuff about Ted Kord and the thing about his family could have been made such a good movie, but instead they focus on his asshole sister and him wanting to whine and cry and have to learn to become one with the beetle. And then also, What We Do in the Shadows, Guillermo. What's his name? What's his real name?
Shit, I forget his name. But
Guillen.
yes. Yeah.
Harvey Guillen. His character dies for fucking nothing.
I know, it's kind of sad.
They sacrifice him in this moment where he's like, screw you, white Karen. And you're like, yeah. And then he dies immediately and in
a spurt of red paint.
Yeah, and Jaime Reyes is just sitting there being like, oh my God, he sacrificed himself for me. He gave me my life so that I could get away and save my family. I might just stand here until the dude punches all the way through the door so that I can die also for no good goddamn reason. It's like, hey, dumbass, get to hoofing it, bro. Because Harvey Guillen just died for you, and he was like,
Guillermo.
My name is like these 10 Spanish names, not Sanchez. You racist bitch. and Susan Sarandon's like, oh, no one's ever talked to me like this. Yeah, it's everything is wasted and dumb.
Watching Harvey Guillen get mad on screen is funny and entertaining no matter what. If it's Werewolf Within, if it's this movie, if it's What We Do in the Shadows, like he was wasted, and I was upset about it. He was.
Because
I wanted more.
They set him up to be a very cool character, and they didn't give him the screen time. They should have given the sister screen time to him.
Oh, 100%. They could have gotten...
I wanted more him.
Yeah, they could have wrote her out of the whole movie.
I wanted more the dad. The dad was a cool dude. And
the dad was fantastic.
There was just enough George Lopez. His character worked. Because his character, you're like, I don't like this guy. And then at the end of the movie, you're like,
I like this guy.
Yeah, this guy rules.
I would say my only other big complaint about this movie is I did not like the fact that they didn't make the Kaji alien voice more alien.
Oh, they just made it a total
chick voice.
Friday from Iron Man bullcrap thing.
Hello, I'm this.
Hi, me. Yeah, and then when they become one, she starts saying Spanish words too because now they're in sync.
I just wish that it sounded a little bit more alien.
Or maybe not even talked at all. Maybe not
they had
been
to have that.
The exact same as Iron Man and Iron Spider's interface bullshit computer thing, because it's alien technology. It's not a computer voice.
Right. But
it's a sentient
you watch like
thing.
Young Justice,
or yes, a male voice, which is something I felt like I wasn't allowed to say. Yeah, because
Or just an alien voice. It could have been like, you know, and you don't know what gender.
And you don't know what it's
aliens
saying.
don't have to have genders. Infinite power beings don't have to have genders.
Also, something that just pissed me off was at the end when they're like, his brainwaves and the aliens are one and they're perfectly in sync. And he goes, give me a gun and give me a sword. And it took the time for him to announce the commands for them to happen instead of them
called
just
narrative, like, you know.
It was explained. Not only
telegraphing.
It
You
didn't
have
need
to.
it. It could have happened at the speed of thought. He could have done this.
Well, he could have done it once or twice, and then we know moving
Exactly.
forward that he needs a giant
They
hammer
could have,
or
they could have been like, I can do whatever you think about. And he's like, cool, weapons out of nowhere.
that could have been tied
But
into a like
instead-
power discovery mode scene where he's like, "Oh, can I get a knife?
Yeah.
Oh, can I get a hammer?
But
oh,
instead,
can I
the
get
bad
a
guy is sitting there
kazoo?"
punching him in the mouth, and the bad guy's making swords and guns and murdering him in the face. And he's like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Could we please do this suit, please?" And then after his suit's fully depleted and is like, I can't do anything. Our energy's down. We're done. We're going to die. He's like, oh, mad. And the suit's like, oh, okay, yeah. Energy just appeared out of nowhere because you're mad. That's not how science works.
That was Jaime power.
Then why did the suit do stuff?
I don't know. I had fun in it. I don't know.
Because he's a college graduate. He went to Gotham Law.
Velvet Santa, the film's not exhausting. This review is exhausting.
Oh my God.
And as Vince said, he goes, not talking about you guys, but there's a fatigue about watching the movies, but not talking about them, I guess. This is something I've said on the show for years. It's way more fun and engaging to rip on a movie than it is to praise a movie. That's what the
I
internet's
wanted
based
to
on.
like this movie. But
No, you didn't.
It gave me nothing.
You've never wanted to like any movie that was based in a comic book, ever.
That's not true. I've definitely wanted to. Original X-Men, I wanted to like it.
Original. Let's go back to 1996 or whatever it was.
I like Man of Steel. I like Batman Begins.
No. I'm not talking about movies you liked. Movies that were coming out that you wanted, that were comic books that you wanted. You were like, I'm excited about this movie.
Yeah.
I want it to be good.
Yeah.
You did not want this movie to be good. You wanted to hate this movie.
No,
You hated it in your heart
no, they
because
gave
you're
me.
a racist and you hate
Oh
Mexicans.
my God, that's not true.
It is. You heard it here first.
No, you heard that nowhere because it's not true.
Yeah, that's what Disney needs to do to sell this movie is like,
don't watch
if
it,
you don't
you're
watch
racist.
it, you're a racist.
Yeah.
If you
Or
hate this
Warner
movie,
Brothers.
yeah, or is
Yeah.
it Warner Brothers?
Yeah, dude, it's DC.
Oh, that's right, DC.
See, it's such a Marvel formulaic horseshit
I
movie.
know. Yeah, that you're racist against Hispanic people if you don't go see this movie.
That's
and like it. So
Well, that's what Sholo's been saying, right? And look at how it worked out. Anyhow, it's a very bland, very plain, run-of-the-mill, you've seen it before, superhero movie.
I thought it was fun.
Some of the super, none of the hero.
Good costume work.
And Blue Beetle, he's like, we don't kill. It's like, everyone else in your family does, my guy. Like, his
Yeah.
sister kills people.
Everybody's marking people. George Lopez steps on that dude with the truck.
His nana just mows people down.
With
George
a
Lopez
history of-
stabs a dude and does the Jurassic Park 2 walk and like kick off like doo-doo
corpse.
thing.
Yeah. Night Owl, she says, so it's fine. Yeah, like, again, the point that I was trying to make is I think that this movie suffers the most from the fact that we are so tired of seeing this kind of stuff before, and this is a good example of what a comic book movie should be, but we have been just bombarded with so many bad examples and so many comic book movies in general that I just don't want to see anymore.
Yeah,
comic
I
book
mean,
movies.
I've seen Iron Man and I've seen Spy Kids. The two of them together just is, we've seen it.
Yeah. I think people should watch it. Jake thinks it's the stupidest thing he's ever seen.
I'm telling you, I took someone that likes dumbass movies.
But I
with
even
me.
think that applies to everyone else. Like, I mean, even the Disney Bob is like, we've made a mistake. You know, we've given people too much comic, too much Star Wars. what have we done? Because now people don't want this anymore, and they see it and they hate it, even though it could be pretty good.
If they would have gotten the whole he's tight with his family and he becomes a superhero out of the way in the first half hour, it could have been something good.
But then how are you going to get the drama? How are you going to get the high power at the end?
I don't know. How did movies used to pace themselves to be 2 hours or less and tell you a much better story?
Touche. Okay, that's it. Let's talk about the box office. It's that time of the show. Even our fans are getting tired of this. They're like, oh, God, can we just move on?
Re-release Meteor Man. I want a good superhero movie.
Hell yeah. Or Spawn. Let's get at it. We're going to view the box office roundup for the last weekend. It's going to be the weekend of August 18th through 20th, 2023, whatever is happening here. Heat stroke. We give you the mostly domestic numbers because that is what box offices pay attention to most. U.S. production companies, that's where they greenlight things. We're going to give you, we already talked about number 12, which was the Old Boy re-release.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, number 11 was The Last Voyage of Demeter in its second week, which I talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a great representation of Dracula. Unfortunately, if you're paying attention to Universal's Dracula, thanks for the follow, Hiroko. Universal had 2 different Dracula movies this year, but I liked both of them. Renfield, I thought, was a lot of fun, despite having Awkwafina in it. And it's still, I enjoyed it. And then I really, really liked Last Voyage of Demeter, and neither of these films are getting off the ground. I don't know if that has anything to say with the state of film. I think they're going to have maybe a resurgence in streaming. But anyway, number 10, take it away.
All right, first I got to say, Andrew said that I inspired them to watch Blue Beetle. It's a 2.5 hour journey for a boy to get a kiss from a girl. It's stupid.
That's what movies always used to be.
Number 10, in its 7th week out, still in the top 10 somehow. Sound of Freedom, which when I checked earlier wasn't in the top 10, so I guess the numbers came in.
Yeah, because everybody involved in this movie actually traffics children.
Yeah. Sound of Freedom brought in another $2.6 million, bringing its domestic total to $177.77 million in its 7th week out. Lots of sevens there. Coming in at number 9, holding the number 9 spot in its 6th week out. Bummer. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, $2.7 million brought in this past week. 164.6 is its domestic take so far.
That's a bummer too, because that movie was a lot of fun, and
except for the asshole girl whose sole purpose is to be an asshole.
Well, they had one of those in there too. Yeah, just like Blue Beetle.
Just like Blue Beetle, and there was one before that.
Indiana Jones.
Yes. Yeah. Sophie Waller-Bridge's character from Indiana Jones. She was there just to be a shithead.
Just to be a butthole.
Yeah. Like, come on. Number 8, Haunted Mansion, dropping from number 6, $3 million in its 4th week out.
Reviewed that one on the show a few weeks ago as well.
Just under $58.9 million. Not doing so well for Disney there in its second outing with that Haunted Mansion movie. And then its 4th week out, holding at number 7, Talk to Me, which you also reviewed on the show previously. $3.1 million.
Everybody's like, it's so scary. It's not.
Its domestic take is $33.3 million so far. And then coming in at number 6, continuing its way down the top 10, Meg 2 in its 3rd week out, $6.7 million. It's brought in so far $66.6 million. Not great. Not bad.
Are we talking about the Meg?
Yeah, the Meg.
Well,
yeah.
And they're talking about how it's made over $300 million so far. But is it enough? Like, everybody's still like, is it enough? It's like that's $300 million for a movie about giant sharks. Like,
I heard that in the books, because it is based on a book series, that in the books there are those like dinosaur things and all that stuff too.
In the books.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not so much a fan of the Meg movies. I'm more a fan of the Meg novels.
Dude, there's that person out there, you know, that like, well, actually in the books, the thing is about
the actually
Meg.
guy, AKW Chuli.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. And then opening at number 5, $8.2 million brought in by the new Will Ferrell R-rated dog comedy Stray.
This actually surprises me because seeing the trailers to this, I thought that maybe the raunchy dogs talking about biting dicks off and saying cuss words and eating drugs, like I thought that maybe the idiocracy of society that is happening with audiences would have been like, yo, we want to go see that dog bite a dick off. Let's go. But it really didn't translate into the box office numbers. I'm kind of surprised on this one.
Yeah, well, it's back to school time and all that stuff. People ain't got time to go to the movies
to take their
watch
kids to watch dogs do drugs.
dogs biting dicks off or whatever. And then in its third week out, dropping from the number 3 down to the number 4 spot, another movie that you had watched.
I really like this movie.
Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
I've seen it twice.
You've let us know that you like it. You keep trying to make me watch it.
You need to see this movie. I think you're
I
gonna
want
like
to.
it. I think you're gonna like it.
No. What about comic
You
book
went
movies?
and saw Blue Beetle, and you're not gonna go see Teenage Mutant Ninja
Because we
Turtles.
told them that I would. What's this about me not wanting to go, me not liking comic book movies? It's a comic book movie. I'm not going to like it.
Ali Sparkman in Twitch says TMNT was so good.
TMNT was good.
Well,
you're right. The animated TMNT sequel to the original live action movies was fantastic. It's very good. And in fact, you can walk into Walmart and buy
The
on
double feature
Blu-ray,
DVD, which I have.
No,
I
you
bought
can
it.
buy on Blu-ray all of the Ninja Turtle movies so far on a single
Okay, I've got the
thing
one
for
that's
$10.
just the first one and TMNT, which is the best.
No,
it's a DVD flip side double feature. I will say it goes original New Line Cinema Turtles, TMNT.
You
Mutant
put it
Mayhem.
above Ooze?
Yeah, 100%.
You put it above Secret of the Ooze.
I put it above Ninja Rap.
You
I
put
it above.
both of those above Secret of the Ooze.
Because Secret of the Ooze I enjoyed.
It has Toka and Raja, and it has Big Sexy as Super Shredder.
Oh, I know what it has. And it has Vanilla Ice with Ninja Rap, which they reference in Teenage Mutant
And
Ninja
it has
Turtles
the
Mutant Mayhem.
donuts, the Num Nums. Yeah, Num Nums.
That's the way I rank it. I rank it this, and then Ooze comes after Mutant Mayhem.
It has Ernie Reyes Jr. as the pizza delivery guy
I know.
outside of the turtle costume.
I know.
It has the lair, their hideout, the subway lair.
Okay, I will say the subway layer is pretty badass.
And has the bump it up, it up, it up, it up.
Well, the first one had that too.
Yeah, but the second one. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's I rank Ooze number 4 now. It's it goes first one TMNT animated, Mayhem, Ooze,
My guy.
and then the other ones don't exist to me.
Wow. All right.
I don't even like the one with the flaming torches. That one was stupid.
What?
Part 3, Ninja Turtles 3, where they
Where they go to the back in
the
history.
feudal Japan,
yeah.
and they have the flaming torches, and
Yeah, that one's dumb.
yeah, that one is
But
stupid.
the naked samurai in modern New York was funny. Anyhow, well,
I'm telling you, you need to go see this.
they were in Fundoshi.
Just go see it. I'll buy your ticket.
I don't want to. I
Just
honestly
go. You went and
don't
saw
want to commit the time of my life.
bullshit. You're just too afraid. You're scared you're gonna like it after you've said you
No.
didn't want to like it.
No.
Because that's how Jake works, guys. Jake's
No.
gonna be like, once I say I don't like something, that's forever. And if he gets proven wrong, he's going, no, I secretly did hate it, and he'll love it in his heart and in his soul. But he's like, I can't admit that I said that I was not gonna like it. And so now you're just too afraid to go see it because you know you're gonna like it.
No.
You know you're gonna be like coming out of there being like da 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 da, and you're gonna like buy the little toys like I did, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, and but you're like, no, I can't because I told everybody I was gonna hate it.
No, dog. I've given all of the turtles a chance, and
But not this one.
I just don't want to. I'm over it. Hey, but on that Blu-ray, it also has Turtles versus
You
Batman.
call yourself a turtle fan.
Yeah, dog. We saw the picture of me as a kid dressed as a turtle.
Yeah, well, that kid is dead.
See, I'll own up to it.
That
too,
kid is
Vince.
dead. He doesn't exist anymore. He died. That kid in that photo, I don't know that kid. I thought I knew a turtle fan.
My guy.
I thought I knew a party dude. But,
I am Michelangelo, bro.
Michelangelo would have been like, "Oh, let's do it."
Dude, I'll bust out my skateboard.
And
I'll
drive
go-
it and
yeah.
bust out your skateboard and go to the theater
Yeah,
on
I'll
it.
sketch to the theater on it.
You
yeah.
better.
Anyhow, What is BTTF?
Back to the Future Jake.
Oh.
He's in the photo. The little Ninja Turtle Jake in the photo is disappearing.
Get out
Like,
of-
check his hand. Is it still there?
Get out of town. Anyhow, Turtles, brought in $88.2 million so far in its third week out. Coming in at number 3, Oppenheimer, $10.7 million. It has brought in a total in the U.S. of $285.3.
It beat, what was it, Interstellar, I think, recently? Or Inception? One of the two. No, it
on the
beat
Christopher Nolan list of...
list of movies that it's beaten. I think it was Interstellar, and I think it's coming for Inception.
Well, it's a little more exciting than Interstellar. Though Interstellar is, like, at the very end, you're like, oh, whoa. And the visuals of Interstellar
Are pretty cool,
And
yeah.
when Matt
And
Damon's a dickhole, you're like,
Matthew
oh,
McConaughey's
Matt
just like
Damon.
crying.
Yeah. And then number 2, finally toppled from the top spot, Barbie. $21 million brought in by it. $566.8 million in the U.S. alone in its 5 weeks out. That's more than $100 million a week.
Dude,
average
it's
for
so much money. It's ridiculous.
And then taking the top spot with a very underwhelming amount of money, $25 million brought in by Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Not much.
Not a lot. It made less than The Flash.
Yeah.
Because Flash opening was 55.
Yeah. There was a lot of hype behind
Everyone's
Flash.
done with... Yeah, and Michael Keaton.
Everyone's just,
done with DC.
and well, that's a
and
part of it. Everyone's
comics.
just over DC. It's a double down on DC because everyone's over comics because
Plus-
Marvel fucked it up
With the
And
whole
then-
DC change...
And then, yeah, the DC change, the past couple of DC movies being stinkers, just no one wants... So everyone is like Jake with Ninja Turtles. They're like, nah, this is going to be stupid. I don't even want to try it. Fuck Blue Beetle. I don't even care. And they're not...
And they'd be right.
And they're not even going to go give it a chance. They're not even going to go see it. They're not even going to go... They're just like, nah, dude. Forget it. I'm done. I'm out. And then even if they saw it, they're like, nah, dude, wasn't even for me because I went in there like thinking I hated it. And it was a fine movie. It was fine for a comic book movie about a teenager getting powers. Honestly,
And he cried for 2 hours about it.
he did
Until
cry.
the suit was like, I can sense you're getting a boner, Jaime.
It didn't say that, but it said that. It didn't say boner.
I can sense a rush of blood and heat at your midsection while you're smooching on this girl, Jaime.
Yeah, it was boner detector. It was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of funny. Well, maybe
I can
for
sense
those
you
of
got
us for those
blue-
of us who've kissed girls, we know how that works.
I sense
but-
you got blue balls inside of your Blue Beetle costume, Jaime.
Yeah, well, next time when you kiss a girl,
the weed
well,
You watch the anime. You're the one that went and watched Porco Rosso, weed.
yeah, dude. I mean, I push the weeb button and it's a weeb detector. It only goes to the weeb in the room. That's how the weeb detection technology works, Jake.
No.
I push the button and it's supposed to go to the weebiest. It's like the mirror from Snow White going back to the first part of the show. Like, mirror, mirror on the wall, show the weebiest of them all. And I can't. It's the technology, not me. But
Velvet Santa doesn't need a suit to detect boners. Oh, Jaime Reyes.
he got 2 boners in that movie. Did you catch the first boner? Where he stood up and had to pull his jacket down when they were sitting having a smooch out, about to have a smooch out sesh on the couch, and he stands up and he like pulls his windbreaker over his crotch and like walks crouched out, and I was like, boner number 1, and then the Beetle tech was like, I detect another boner number 2. Yeah, so
Super dumb. Also, the product placement for Toyota, just so they could call a Tacoma a taco, was cringe.
is that why they called it that?
Yeah, because people called Tacomas tacos.
I had no clue. I thought it was just
So that's why he
a
kept calling it
Hispanic thing.
the taco, is because it was a Tacoma.
A Tacoma. Well, maybe if you weren't so insensitive to Hispanic lifestyle,
No.
you might understand why they would.
No, I know cars, man.
But do you know Hispanic culture?
And then she bought him the blue taco at the end, and he's like, "Oh, no, on the nose, don't you think?"
I like how he dogged it at first, though, and he's like, "Come on, help me like this," and like, he didn't want to like it. But see, there was good. George Lopez was really good. I liked. How often do you get to be treated by George Lopez?
Well, have you not seen the meme where it's like the kid wakes up and looks at the clock and it's like 3 a.m. and it's like low, rah, because like the George Lopez show would come on TV. That was my life. Like
Dude,
I would
George
always
Lopez.
like middle of the night like wake up and George Lopez on TV.
Super funny dude. Okay, well, I guess that's it. We've actually gone overtime this week, so we're gonna close out the show. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I know you got work to get to, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Find us on all your social medias. If you are a subscriber on Twitch, or just follow the channel, we do a pre-show on Twitch where we just kind of come and shoot the shit with you guys for a half hour longer before we start rolling cameras. So I mean, we're rolling cameras. We're not recording, you know, and going out to other social medias, which you can follow on Facebook or YouTube. Or you could just download the podcast wherever it is you download podcasts. I'm going to try and figure out what's going on with the audio on this one, but we will figure it out. You can also follow us on our Discord, get into the chat anytime, all week long, talk to our fans, talk to each other, form a community. It's a lot of fun. Vince just threw that up in the comments over on Twitch. And, yeah, as always, I am the Boom Operator.
I'm the Grip.
And we will see you guys, I guess next week. Yeah. Later.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.